So welcome everyone. If you're just joining in, we are going to wait just maybe 1 or 2 more minutes to let everybody catch up and join us in our virtual circle. And you can also, if you would like, maybe have something to drink or some water, maybe something to write with. If you want to prepare to write anything that comes through, you want to make sure to write that down so you don't forget about it. We'll talk about journaling today and the importance of that. And I think I might be able to chat on the side on my computer, but I'm not entirely sure. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm on my phone for our circle. And, you know, I've been kind of experimenting on where to do moon circles over the past year. I originally was doing them on Facebook, and that's where I had started, and then I took a break when I had my son, and then I came back into doing them on Facebook. And I've been trying to kind of, you know, distance myself from the Facebook world as things have started to change, and with this political year, things have been a little crazy. However, I went to Zoom and I found that it was harder to reach people on Zoom. People were struggling with the platform working right, or, you know, it was just harder to sign in. And then I went to YouTube just for these past 2 moon cycles before the new moon. And it was okay, but I could only do live streaming from my MacBook. And the video quality isn't as good, and YouTube has a lot of rules about the live streaming, and, you know, you have to have a certain amount of views and hours viewed in order to live stream from your phone, which I think is crazy. What's the difference in that and your computer? So yes, I think I'm back on Facebook for now. And as long as this platform is here and I'm able to use it, this is probably where the moon circles will be, because we're reaching more people here. But if they do, if something ever happens with Facebook, you can prepare to get those moon circles probably on Zoom. I'm keeping fingers crossed that soon my own platform where I host my website will allow me to live stream directly there. As some of you know, I have that free online community, that tribe community. Some of you are part of my online monthly memberships, the yoga membership or the prenatal yoga membership, or you're part of one of my online programs. Maybe you're on my mailing list with the Vina Lene brand and business. And, you know, I would love to be able to live stream directly there, but I just can't do that yet. So I'm having to figure out somewhere else to do these moon circles, which is why I've kind of been playing around on where to go. So that's why we've been experimenting, and that takes up a little bit of time as everybody starts to log in here. So it looks like we have quite a few people on here. Hi, Roxanne. Thanks. I am loving my hair as well. It's exactly what I wanted, and I got it done on winter solstice. I felt like it was a really good time to do it with Yule, and I'm embracing this kind of, I don't know, wintry spirit with the red hair. So thanks. And I miss you too. We need to get together here after the first of the year. Welcome everyone. So if you are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Vina Lene, also known as Rachel, depending on how you know me, or Rachel Lene or Lene Grant. Either way, Vina is my spiritual name. Lene is a name that's been handed down through my lineage, and I have embraced this name as messenger of the divine. This was given to me in India, and it's been about 3 years since I traveled to India and received that name. And once I received that blessing of becoming Vina, I've been really navigating publicly, gathering people together to honor the full moons and the new moons. And then we've also talked about other important astrological events. And then this has moved forward to talking about a lot of things like the metaphysical world and new age spirituality and self-healing. And that's the most important thing. I hope that I can channel messages for you to help self-heal, or to guide you along that path of self-healing, because that's what I truly feel like I am put on this planet to do. So welcome to this virtual moon circle, whether you are tuning in live right now or maybe you're catching the replay. And feel free to use the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from, say hi to everybody in the group that's live right now, and maybe let us know, how are you feeling with the moon? How are you feeling with this full moon in Cancer? Does it feel different from the last full moon? How are you feeling with this moon energy in general? How are you feeling with the end of the year or the great conjunction that we just went through? There's a lot of things going on right now, so feel free to share that in the chat and let us know how you're doing today. This is a space that we tend to share how we're feeling, and we're going to talk a lot about our feelings tonight with this energy of this Cancer moon. Roxanne says she's tired. Yeah, this can be a time when you're feeling a little bit more tired just because of that energetic pull right now, and especially because this is the post-holiday season, right? We're unwinding from those holidays. We're kind of in that lull between Christmas and New Year's. It can be a really weird time. So yeah, I'm not surprised that you're feeling tired right now. Lisa's having lots of water dreams. We are in a water moon. I know, Lisa, we've talked a little bit about this aside from this transmission. And yeah, this can do with womb energy or the mother energy or this Cancer full moon in general that we are in right now. And this is a moon where we are breaking a lot of patterns, and I'm going to be talking about that tonight as well. Hi, Christina. Christina says feeling very tired with this full moon, and she sounds like she's feeling like Roxanne. She's feeling tired as well. So yeah, I've been kind of both. I felt a little tired this morning. I'm feeling a little bit more energetic tonight. So I'm a Capricorn moon, and we are in Capricorn season right now. So I think I'm a little bit more in my element than normal with this full moon, and that's why I'm feeling more energetic right now. So I'd like us all to just take a moment to ground in. Let's take a few deep breaths just to collectively slow down, clear our mind, really release stress from the body as you exhale. Wherever you are, can you find supportive posture? Can you take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth? Maybe shake out anything you need to shake out, let go. Really relax through your legs. Feel the grounding of your body to the earth. We don't have as strong of a connection to earth right now. Gravity isn't as strong. We're pulled up to the moon. So we need to relax. We need to let go. We need to kind of anchor ourselves in to this present moment so that we aren't pulled up and distracted. So let's take another deep breath and sweep the arms overhead. And as you exhale, just let everything fall. Maybe sink down, shake it out again. And we'll take another breath, sweeping arms overhead like the full moon above. And exhale down. And relax. And we're going to begin to build our moon circle before we move forward, talking about the specifics of what's going on right now. And I do this every moon circle. I bring in the 5 elements, and this just helps to connect our energies. It helps to link us to earth and to the universe, kind of grounds us into that centered space so that we can receive everything that needs to come through. And when we bring in external elements and start to build a grid or a circle with those, or some sort of sacred geometry, this can really enhance the energy of our circle or the transmissions that need to come through. And so I'm starting tonight with a earth element, and it's over here actually on my altar, so hang on. By the way, I'm in southeast Iowa right now. We had a winter storm today. This is the cold moon, so for the full moon it's also known as the cold moon. We had a very cold day. We had a winter storm, and just on the other side here there's a road, so you might be hearing some traffic maybe struggle up the hill. Which is what sounds like is happening outside right now. So I have this beautiful peach moonstone, and I wanted to bring in my moonstone pyramid, but it's at the studio. So we're bringing in this peach moonstone sphere instead. And this is one that I picked up kind of at the beginning of the year. I believe it was either February or March of this year. I felt really called to pick this up at the beginning of the pandemic. And as we close out this year, I'm feeling drawn to bring this back into our circle. And of course, moonstone relating to the lunar energy that we have right now. This is a Cancer moon, and each sign has a planet that it's related to, and Cancer is ruled by the moon. So we're in really strong lunar energy right now, and that's why I have this peach moonstone. Peach moonstone is also really related strongly to feminine energy, and we'll talk about that. I'm also going to bring in the earth element of Palo Santo. We've been working a lot with Palo Santo this year. It is a dead wood that has sat dead for several years, and it creates this resin that when you combine it with the element of fire, it starts to create a smoke or a smudge. And this is a really powerful smudge for releasing what no longer serves, which is always something you want to do on a full moon. And especially as this is the last full moon of 2020, we really want to release what no longer serves from this year. We want to let go of 2020. And sometimes it's hard to let go. So pay attention to the things that you do as you set up your circle. You know, I tried to light that. I didn't want to light it first. And yeah, it's hard to let go of some of these things that we're trying to release. You know, old ways, old patterns, old versions of ourselves that maybe we're scared to release. These are all signs that might be coming through right now, or feelings that might be coming through. But it looks like that release is a little hesitant with our energy right now. So we're going to really smudge our space. So I'm going to smudge to you, to the ether that we share and connect with. I'm smudging the technology I'm using to communicate to you with. I'm smudging the space that I'm in and myself so that I'm a pure sacred vessel. From a messenger for the messages to come through. Same thing for this space. It's clear of distractions and everything can be clear for transmission. Okay, so we're just going to continue to let that Palo Santo smoke burn out until it is done. And then I'm bringing in the water element first of wild orange. And this is wild orange essential oil. And wild orange is deeply connected to the sacral chakra or the energetic womb space. So even if you are not identifying as a female, you still have an energetic womb space, and it's related to the color orange. And so that's why we're bringing in the wild orange oil. Wild orange is the oil of abundance, and we are being reminded right now as we reflect on this past year and this journey that we've been on through 2020, you know, what can we take note of when it comes to our abundance? You know, how can we be grateful for everything that came through instead of thinking about the disappointments or the letdowns? So you could place this oil on you. You could put it directly on your womb. I always like to dilute with a carrier oil. I don't have anything with me right now, so I'm just gonna kind of smell this. I also like to use wild orange to uplift frequency, and this is a time with this watery moon, this moon in Cancer, that we might really be feeling kind of down in our emotions, or we might be holding, you know, a sense of regret or disappointment or some of those lower frequencies. So when we bring in a citrus oil, it helps to uplift our frequency because it vibrates higher than our human frequency. So when we combine the two, it's chemistry, it's emotional alchemy. We must uplift as well. So we'll bring in that wild orange to our circle tonight. I'm also bringing in a kombucha tonight, and it's a rose kombucha. You know, rose is deeply related to the sacral chakra as well and the womb space. And kombuchas are good to consume around full moon times because this is a time when yeast and parasites are more active. And these things feed off of sugar and unhealthy gut microbiome, or when your gut microbiome is imbalanced, you tend to have higher amounts of candida in your body, or you might have a parasitic overload or imbalance. So consuming kombucha can help with that. Fermented foods are a really good way to stay on top of keeping your microbiome healthy. And this is also good to do during a full moon to keep all of those little, you know, microbiological critters at bay. I think also these fermented foods are also really good right now to protect our immunity. Our gut health is directly related to the support and health of our immune system. And we know right now with these different viruses that are floating around, you know, not just COVID-19, but there's still the average cold and flu and some other things that are always going to float around. We're always going to have these different viruses. So we want to make sure that we protect ourselves in the best way possible. And we can partially do this through, you know, plant medicines and things like herbal teas. So the kombucha can be good to consume for that. This also has blood orange in it in addition to the rose. And again, we're bringing in that orange element to connect to the sacral center. Blood orange to connect to the energy of feminine energy and the womb space again. I know I'm talking a lot tonight, so I'm just kind of bringing in all the details of this circle. So we've got our earth elements, we've got our peach moonstone, we've got our Palo Santo, we brought in our fire element to create our wind element of smoke or smudge. We brought in our water elements of orange essential oil and this blood orange rose kombucha. And then finally, our fifth element is the ether, which I already mentioned. And this is this space that we're connecting through. And it's an air element. It's the energy of air, which is really strong right now with the age of Aquarius that we've moved into. And this is a space that withstands space and time. So even if you're tuning into this as a replay, you're still receiving all of the energy that comes through right now as we transmit. So I'm going to grab a drink to this kombucha just to kind of wet my throat here. And then I'm going to take a deep breath and we are going to talk about the full moon in Cancer. And by the way, if you're just now signing on, because I see we've had some more people sign on, feel free to say hi. Let us know where you're from. Let us know how you're feeling with this full moon as well. So I'm going to talk about the full moon in Cancer. I'm going to talk briefly about the great conjunction that we just had, the Saturn Jupiter conjunction on December 21st with winter solstice. You know, this was also when Capricorn season started. I'm going to talk about the Vedic astrology of this moon, and then I will talk about the tarot cards that I pulled. So I always do a tarot reading at the end of our moon circles as well. And then we'll do a little bit of meditation as well tonight, just to kind of tap into your sacral chakra and kind of see how you're feeling there with your frequencies and your energies. I also heard that my son just got home from grandma and grandpa's, so fingers crossed that he's happy and good. And he's with dad right now. Hi, Heather. Heather says hello from Iowa and feeling tired. Heather, you're the third person that said that you are tired tonight. So it sounds like it is a collective energy. Okay, full moon in Cancer. Cancer is the sign of the crab. It is a water sign. We are deep in our emotions right now. We are emotionally processing, and this can be really draining. We're processing the holidays. We just went through that. Your holidays may have been different from normal. They might have been a break from your typical tradition, and this can make you feel kind of sad or angry or some sort of lower frequency. We are also processing 2020 as we prepare for the next year. We're thinking about all the things that didn't happen, all of the things that did happen. There's a lot of grief and loss going on right now. This can also bring us down. Grief is one of the most exhausting energies to process. It processes right through your heart center, and this is the center of your energetic flow and your energetic body. It's the center of your 7 chakras, and so it's no wonder if you're feeling tired right now because of all of this energy floating around. Heather says, sounds like my reason why. Yeah, exactly, right? We've got a lot of things going on right now, just collectively. The Cancer is a water sign in the sense that it makes us tap into our feelings. It makes them rise to the surface. And this is typical full moon energy. You know, the full moons are always going to affect our internal tides, our internal oceans and waters, and we're going to feel a little moody or over emotional or anxious. But when we add a water sign into it, it enhances that energy. So you might be going through some deep stuff, like deep-seated memories, stuff with your family, stuff with relationships, deep grief and loss, whether that be actual death or if it's just kind of like a death of an old way or an old version, or maybe a death of your own self as you evolve and change. Death of a job, death of a way of doing things, death of your old life. A lot of this is happening right now with this Cancer full moon. And this is the sign of the great mother or the great nurturer. So you might have stuff coming up with your mom. If you have a mother wound, that's probably going to rise up right now as well. If you have a good relationship with your mother, if you're a mother yourself, you might be navigating some mother stuff within yourself. Or you might just feel a little unsupported when it comes to mother energy. So maybe you're not feeling nurtured, you're not feeling supported to feel your feelings, maybe you're just not feeling loved, or maybe you're not feeling loved unconditionally. So these are things that might be coming up with this full moon as well. You might be feeling really good. You might be feeling like a really strong mother right now. You might be really kind of coming down from that Christmas high with your kids or with your family. You might be really excited to move forward into the next year, and you might have already kind of emotionally processed 2020 and you're ready to let that go. There's a variety of feelings that are going to be going on right now because our sacral energetic womb space kind of holds all of it, the whole emotional scale. So whatever you're feeling is natural. That's what I want you to know. And it's okay to feel a little weird during this time as we start to make change and move into this next age and this next year. Let's talk about the Vedic side of things real quick. The Vedic astrology, so this is more on the eastern side of the world, and I'm no expert by any means, it's just something I'm kind of like learning along the way. But in the Vedic side of things, we are in the Ardra Nakshatra, and this is the lunar mansion that's represented by a teardrop. And this is a time when we're really deep in our emotions, okay? So I want you, especially if you're a person that doesn't like to cry or you try to hold it back, you need to cry right now, okay? You need to let it go, especially if you're really feeling that stuck energy, you're feeling that suppression. We are in this water energy, so everything can rise to the surface. Have yourself a cry. I know certainly lately I've just been kind of like crying for no reason. Like sometimes I just got to cry and let out the emotional release and I feel better. And maybe it's multiple things that are coming to the surface at once. You don't have to identify it. You don't have to attach it to something. But it's okay to release those tears right now. We are in the energy to do so. The Ardha Nakshatra is also represented by the Star of Storms. And this is a time, again, when we're kind of feeling pulled every which way, emotionally especially, but also maybe in between two worlds or two lives, okay? So maybe you're feeling kind of like stuck or pulled back or wanting to stay attached to your old life, your old way, your old self, but you're feeling this calling, you're feeling this pull, you're feeling this excitement to move forward into a new life, a new way, but you're kind of in between right now. This can make us feel really anxious because as human bodies, as habitual human bodies and minds, we don't like change. But change is going to happen whether we like it or not. That's how expansion and growth happens in the universe. And as we move into this next golden age, we've moved into the age of Aquarius. It's official now with this great conjunction. Things are absolutely going to change. And the ways that we did things in the past, they're going to go. You know, 2020 was kind of our preview of that. It was our training. And we went through our boot camp, so to say. And we've still got more to come. We've still got a lot of change to come, but it's going to get better and better. And we just have to embrace that, you know, we have to let go of the old in order to make space for the new. So I talk about, you know, feeling our feelings right now. And I talk about this energy of the great mother with Cancer and, you know, this teardrop energy with Ardra Nakshatra, because we need to learn to identify with ourselves in the present moment. Okay? So this is what's coming through from Spirit and from Universe right now. And this is something I've really been learning in my own life through 2020, and maybe you've been feeling the same, but you know, you don't have to be your old self. You don't have to be your old self. You don't have to be friends with the same people forever. You don't have to have the same people in your life forever. You don't have to have your family in your life forever just because they're blood. You don't have to work the same job forever just because that's the way it was. You have the opportunity to always change. You have the opportunity to always become somebody different, and you have the opportunity to welcome new people into your life. You know, it's not like you're going to cap out at a certain amount of people or energy in your life, but if you're holding on to people in your past that don't serve you, or if you're putting your energy towards people in the past that don't serve you, then you're never making space for new people. and new energies, new inspirations. You know, I have certainly changed over the past 8 to 10 years. I am nowhere near the person I was 10 years ago. And the person that I am now, I have different people in my life. Some people are still in my life from my past, some people aren't. And that's okay. So as we move forward into this new collective, into this new earth, it's time to make change. And that's the energy this full moon is bringing to us right now. You know, full moons are always a time of release. We have to release what no longer serves. We have to release the energy of the past that no longer serves. We have to release our attachments to the things that no longer serve our greatest evolution and greatest good. Now, I want to go back to the Vedic astrology, this Ardra Nakshatra. This is ruled by a Hindu god known as Rudra. And all you really need to know about Rudra is as a baby, Rudra wailed and screamed and cried and wailed and screamed. And finally, it was learned that he was disappointed because he didn't have a name. At the time, he didn't have a name yet. And once he was given his name, he stopped crying. Rudra wanted to be seen for who he was. He wasn't just a baby. He wasn't just this god. He wasn't just this spiritual being. He was Rudra. And he needed that identification, and he needed that among everything else. I'm a mother. I'm a healer. I'm a wife. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm Veena. I'm Rachel. And even without those names, I am who I am. And I need to identify as that. And I need to be recognized as that. And not only my ego craves that, but my soul, spirit, and essence craves that. And yours does too, doesn't it? Give me a heart. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're feeling this, right? I got chills, so I know it's accurate. But that's what we're moving into with this new collective and this new golden age, this age of Aquarius. It's time for all of us to be sovereign to ourselves and to rule our lives and to be recognized for who we are at our core, at our essence, at our true authenticity. Yes, hearts, thumbs up. I love it. So Rudra just needed to be identified. He just needed to have his name. He just needed to be seen. He needed to be recognized. And we're doing the same right now. And the reason that I mention this is because it is time for you, sisters and brothers, to break your generational patterns that are toxic to your identity. I'm going to say that again. It is time to break your generational patterns that you've inherited, that you've adapted into your own psyche and your own being, that do not identify with you, that do not serve you, your authentic self. And this is deep stuff, and this is what is coming to the surface right now. Do you have a toxic trait from your mother, from your father, from your caretaker, from a family member, from somebody you witnessed growing up in your childhood that you are starting to take on? Do you have times where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm becoming my parent? Oh my gosh, I'm becoming so-and-so, my brother, my sister, whatever it is. And you know that's not a piece of you. You know it's something that you've witnessed from the external, that you've kind of taken on because you witnessed it over and over and over. You know, you become like the people that you surround yourself with. And as a child, you can't help that. But as an adult, you can absolutely break the stuff that's not a part of you and you can release it. So this is what's coming up with this great mother energy, and you're being nurtured to do it. You're being nurtured to be your own person. You know, hopefully your parent or your mother loves you unconditionally. And you guys know I have a deep mother wound. My mother isn't in my life. My mother doesn't love me unconditionally. My mother never wanted me. And that's okay. But I can still embrace that nurturing mother energy from the great mother, from goddess, from whatever, spirit, universe, whatever mothers me, the moon more than anything. And I can still feel nurtured and supported to be my authentic original self, Yes, Heather, cord cutting. Christina just got major chills. Christine gave a heart. Yes, cord cutting. It's time for it, right? And it's time to cut away your old identities. It's time to shed them. We are no longer attached to our old selves. It's okay to let those go, and it's okay to let them go without explanation. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why you're changing or why you are who you are now. Just be yourself, and the old people will fall away that you don't need to attach yourself to. Naturally, it will happen. You know, I think a lot of times when we talk about cord cutting or we talk about setting boundaries with people in our life, it becomes a very, anxious thing for us. It brings up a lot of that anxiety because we don't want to hurt feelings, or we don't want to have conflict, and we don't want to have issues. It doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to go to these people in your life that you're ready to cut a cord with and be like, look, I just got to cut this cord. I don't want to be your friend anymore. Get out of my life, whatever it is. You don't have to do that. What you do is you start living your authentic self. You start living your best life. You start living in your bliss and your joy. And that ignorance is bliss. It comes along with it. And the people fall away. The people that don't want to be a part of your life, they fall away because they just don't get it. And they just don't get it because they're just not vibrating on the same frequency. And that's okay. But it makes it a heck of a lot easier on you than thinking, oh, I gotta verbally end these relationships that I want to end. So give yourself permission, to move forward into this new age, to move forward into 2021, where, reflect back on 2020 and look at everybody's true colors, because they have certainly shown. And ask yourself who you want to continue to give your energy to and who you don't. And then as you move forward, live your authentic self. Let go of these things that you've inherited from the people around you growing up that aren't you. And it's okay to not identify with those people anymore or the things you inherited from them. Okay. I'm going to grab a drink after that. My throat's a little choppy here. Excuse me. I'm going to get a drink. And I would like us to do 2 meditations tonight. And since we're talking about cord cutting, I think this is an important one to do tonight. I wasn't going to do this, but I think we should. So let's go ahead and drop into this meditation. You can kind of sit wherever you need to. Just find some comfort. Obviously, if you're driving or something, don't close your eyes. But otherwise, if you can, try to close your eyes. And I'd like you to bring your hands kind of around your low belly, your energetic womb space, your sacral chakra. And just take a moment to breathe into your hands. Release some tension. Maybe release hips and legs. Our sacral chakra, this is a place where we hold the energy of our relationships with others, anybody beyond our family. And as we breathe into this space and reflect on our relationships, I want you to see who comes to mind when you need to cut a cord. Somebody will pop up right away if you are meant to cut that cord. And if you're not, nobody will pop up, and that's okay too. We'll do something else with this meditation, but for now, if somebody is showing up in your mind, somebody that the universe is telling you that you need to cut a cord with, can you look this person in the eye and can you send them a smile? Can you see them smiling back? Can you send them love? And can you send them gratitude for all of the value that they've brought to the relationship between the two of you? Can you embrace a love for them and the pieces of your life that they've been a part of? And can you also just for a moment look at this person and maybe just see why it's time to cut that cord? Why is it time to separate yourself from this person or give less energy to this person. And whatever's coming up, you know this is just a lower frequency than where you are right now. And there's no real judgment. This is that person's own particular journey. But you know it's a journey that you don't want to be a part of. It's not going to serve your greater good. And so instead, can you send this person a blessing? And as you see yourself cutting the cord between them and you, can you continue to bless them along their own journey and way? And as you move forward in your own frequency and your own journey, can you do so without ego? Without attachment to this person anymore? There's no use in looking back. The relationship will no longer impact you in a negative way. Keep your eyes closed. Take a deep breath in and out. Breathe into your sacral center. Breathe into the hands on your low belly. And I want you this time, instead of thinking about where you need to cut a cord, to instead think about where you need to set a boundary. Is there a person in your life that needs to remain in your life, but you need to set a boundary with them? Notice what comes to mind. Who comes to mind? And again, this person in front of you, you can send them a smile, you can send them love, you can show gratitude for the positivity they've brought into the relationship. And you can also begin to just surround yourself in a bubble of white light, knowing that this bubble of white light is a slightly different color than the bubble that they're surrounded with. It's a different energy. It's a different frequency. And because of this, these frequencies will simply not cross over. The boundary's been set. You each can surround yourself with your own light, your own mood, your own vibration, your own frequency, without impacting the other. And no harm is done as you set that boundary. It's done so with ease. Take a deep breath in and out. Notice your womb space. Notice your low belly. And when you're ready, gently blink your eyes back open. How do you feel? So the mind knows no different. When you cut a cord, and when you do it out of love and grace, or when you set a boundary, you do it out of your heart. It all happens naturally, externally. You attract that situation into your life. It's a universal law. You've played it out into your mind, so now it must happen. And so this is the easiest way to cut cords and set boundaries with people in your life, and a really easy way to do it with no harm done. And I promise you it will be so much easier than if you are trying those other ways. You don't have to have this conflict in your life. Expansion doesn't have conflict attached to it. We don't have a negative attached to positive for growth. It doesn't make sense. So allow yourself to do these things in your mind, in your spirit, in your own energy, and it'll happen along the way externally as well. I just repeated myself, but it's true. Okay, I'm going to grab another drink. I would like us to talk about the tarot cards that I pulled. We'll do another meditation before we end, and then we'll finish up our moon circle, where they're usually about an hour. We've been here about 30 minutes, so we'll talk a little bit longer. Let me know if that meditation was easy for you. Did you have somebody come up with each, or one, or none? Curious. I had somebody come up with my cord cutting, and I'm not going to talk about it out loud, but it's interesting because I was just talking about this with my husband like minutes before the moon circle, that I feel like for me personally, 2020 has been a really big year of growth and expansion in my own life. But with that, I have had several people rise up from my old life or from my past, just out of the blue, that I very quickly realized I've had to go ahead and cut a cord or set a boundary around right away, that maybe it was better that they never came back in. And I laugh about it now, but it hasn't been an easy process. It hasn't been an easy journey for people to come back into my life and then me to kind of be like, no, this isn't good. So I've been, kind of navigating that with my own journey. So if you've been, struggling to cut cords and stuff this year, you're not alone. This is a time that's been really hard to make change. So I always pull 3 tarot cards. I usually pull a past, present, and future card, and that's what I've done tonight. So we'll go over these. I'm just going to take a deep breath before we move forward with the tarot reading. Lisa says, yes, my grandma. Very interesting. Yeah. And that's that maternal line, right? So we talk about, maybe breaking maternal patterns. I don't know if this is a pattern that you need to break, Lisa. Feel free to share that if you want. But yeah, we're dealing with maternal energy really strongly right now. The age of Aquarius, we're moving into more of an age where the matriarchy will rule more than the patriarchy, and not to get into like gender conflict and all of that, but there'll be more of a mothering, nurturing, collective, unconditional love energy that starts to rise up in this new age, instead of this kind of like separation, division, rule of power, ego-driven age that we've been in right now. We're moving into something different. But with that, we're breaking a lot of toxic patterns, and a lot of that is coming from the maternal line. And I would say that I'm probably breaking a little bit of that myself as well. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath and we'll talk about this tarot reading. Just calling on the universe to bring through whatever messages need to be heard through these cards, trusting in these cards to relay what we need to know right now, any guidance as we continue along this journey, along our own personal path. So with our past, with the past card, I pulled the Queen of Pentacles, and I have this itchy nose right now. I mean, somebody's coming to see me. I have this Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. We've been pulling pentacles like all year. And it's funny, we've been pulling them with our present and our future, but now we're pulling them with our past. And the Queen of Pentacles, she rules with loyalty. And I think 2020 has really shown us where people's loyalties lie. There's been a bit of a division and a separation over that, but with that, we're starting to rule our own lives. I've talked about this, stepping into what you believe and who you identify with, and I think that that's important that we do as we move forward. But the other thing that the Queen of Pentacles done is she speaks through the love language of gifting. So yes, she receives lots of gifts from others, and it makes her feel loved, but she also recognizes others' spiritual gifts. And this has really come forward in this past year. I think a lot of us have really had time to tune within our own instinct and our intuition, which is a beautiful gift that we've been blessed with from the very beginning that we've stepped into this earthly world. We've also discovered our gifts. A lot of us have discovered our groove and the things that we want to do and the things we want to put our creative energy towards, and it might be very different from what we did before. We are embracing creative energy right now. And so the Queen of Pentacles reminds us to reflect on 2020. Yes, look at all the things that didn't work out, but how was it all a gift? How was it all a blessing? And what gifts have you discovered within yourself this year? I have discovered so much about myself with this year's energy, especially with who I identify with. You know, Vina Lene came out of 2020, and also like what I want to do moving forward and where I need to put my energy toward my missing element of water. Water is my sacral womb space. It's a place I've always disconnected with until very recently. But that's just my own personal example. But yes, we're being asked to tap into our womb space. And notice the orange dress and the robe she's wearing. Orange is that sacral chakra. Remember, it's the abundance, oil of abundance, wild orange. It's also our creative center. This is where our creative juices flow. We're also being surrounded by yellow, and yellow is the solar plexus energy, which is the energy of joy and bliss and abundance as well. You know, she's kind of holding this golden star in the palm of her hand. We're being told that we have been given a gift. Okay, 2020, it was a gift. And if you don't believe that right now, sisters and brothers, you need to shift your frequency before you move any farther forward. 2020 was absolutely a gift. We had so much more time to ourselves, so much more time for our family, so much more time to redirect and restructure and rebuild this life to make it the way we want it to. It's time to move forward, creating your life in a co-creative manner. You're always in control. You have the free will. The Queen of Pentacles is reminding you of the blessings that you've had and to keep that creative energy moving forward. For the present card, we have the Knight of Pentacles, another Pentacles card. So now in the present moment energy, we are still blessed. We are so blessed with the changes that come. Now it's important right now to know that January 1st, 2021, it's not all magically going to go away. It's not all magically going to fast forward, move forward. Everything is going to get better. We're going to party. It's not going to be like that. Slow and steady, easy pace. We got to ride into this next year with ease and grace. And that's what the Knight of Pentacles is about. The Knight of Pentacles isn't in a hurry. And we don't need to be in a hurry right now. And we kind of have that with the way we've set ourselves up with our Gregorian calendar to be like, okay, January 1st, new year, new me, new world. It doesn't work that way. And we need to remind ourselves to just keep moving forward at that slow and steady pace. And we need to be patient. And we need to continue to find the gifts, the pentacles, the gold that we have in this present pause, this present time of being in this lackadaisical stroll as we are like, where the heck are we going? Where is this world headed in the future? Well, it's all gold, and we're riding right into the golden age right now, right? We're in this age of Aquarius now. Got a little message there. So we're being told right now to be creative and to be patient. And again, we're wearing the orange. We're surrounded in yellow. So we've got that sacral and solar plexus energy playing in again. And then for our future card, we have the Three of Wands. And I actually pulled this reversed, and sometimes I use the reversed meaning, sometimes I don't. And tonight I'm being called to give you both because one or the other may register. Now the upright meaning of the Three of Wands, it's all about creative energy. 3 is a feminine number. It's 3 trimesters during pregnancy. It's the mother, the womb, and the child. You know, we're breaking generational patterns. And if you are identifiable female, you existed in your grandmother's womb. So you're healing maybe toxic generational things from your grandmother. Actually, Lisa says she thinks she gently wanted to cut a cord with me, her grandma. Yeah, maybe because there's a relationship there or there's a thing that you've inherited, right? That it's time to let go of that. So I would look into that, Lisa. It might not necessarily be your relationship, but it might be something that you've inherited from her, if this is on your mother's side. The Three of Wands upright also means that there might be a creative inspiration right now. You might be inspired to move forward in a different way creatively as we move forward into the next year. This can be very financially supportive for you. It's funny because I just founded Sacred Bath Botanica in the past few weeks, if you know about that. My bath salts and bath bombs. So yeah, we have a lot of creative energy flowing right now. Now on the flip side, the reversed meaning. The Three of Wands in reverse just means that you might have some blockages in your creative flow. So if you're feeling a little stuck right now, if there's a person, an incident, an event, an experience, whatever energy that may be standing in your way of moving forward. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling frustrated, if you're feeling low frequency and you're feeling like there's an attachment that's causing that, now is the time to kind of rest and do the work from within. So it will do you no good to do the conflict from the outside. This is exactly what we did in our meditation. And I didn't even think about this card before we did that. But if you need to cut cords or set boundaries in order to move forward, you need to conserve your energy and do it from the internal. Do the internal work like we just did in the meditation, and that's going to serve you tenfold than trying to do it in the external world. It's just not going to work out right now. So whichever one of those serves you with the Three of Wands, that's coming through for your future, for our future collectively as well. And this 3 also symbolizes this future golden age, this matriarchy. We're going to be ruling with much more of a feminine insight than we have before. So just to review, in the past, Queen of Pentacles, so many gifts have come forward out of 2020. Your personal gifts, gifts of others. There's been a lot of trade and barter happening. Like people are baking bread and other people are making soaps and other people are, leading yoga online, and, just everybody's giving a lot of gifts for free or for trade, and it's becoming a really beautiful thing. And so the past is showing us that so many gifts have come out of what's been given to us in 2020. And we need to start moving forward, ruling our own life and the things that inspire us. The Knight of Pentacles tells us to be patient right now. Be patient, slow and steady. We're not going to have change happen right now, right away with January 1st, but it will come. And continue to find what you can be grateful for in this time, in this present moment. As things continue to play out, and maybe you're presented with more things that might initially be disappointments. Where are the gifts in those? Because there's a gift out of all of it. And then the Three of Wands. Bring your creative energy forward. Set the boundaries and cut the cords in your mind, in your meditative work, in the internal work. This is where it'll do you good. So real quick, I want to read this comment, but I have to push it through. Okay, Christina says, 2020 has been a super creative year for me. Love and Light blends came out of 2020. Yes, sister, you started blending your essential oils as well. Super excited to see what the new year has in store. Awesome. So I'd like us to do one more meditation before we sign off. Of course, we can stay, we can chat, we can share. If you like anything that wants to come through, feel free to share it in the chat. We're not in a hurry. But let's go ahead and do this meditation real quick. I just want you to find comfort. Get into a comfortable seat, whatever works for you. Hands back on your womb space or low belly. Close your eyes, breathe deeply. Soften the spaces between your hips. Soften your breath. How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling right now? How are you feeling right now? What words come up? What comes through? There's no judgment. Just notice what comes up when you say, how am I feeling right now? Breathe into how you feel. Ask yourself one more question. When it comes to the journey you're on right now, how do you feel? Maybe it's a healing journey. Maybe it's a journey of reflection. Maybe it's a spiritual journey. Maybe it's a professional journey. Maybe it's a journey toward your dreams and intentions and goals. Maybe it's a fertility journey. Maybe it's a journey of letting go. Maybe it's a journey of releasing your old self. Whatever it is, how are you feeling on this journey? Again, no judgment, just notice. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Blink your eyes open. And we're not going to do it right now because we're about to end things here, but this is a great time for you to write down everything that came through after this transmission. Or right now, if you're catching replay, you can pause and press play again. But write down how you feel. This is a time of feeling our feelings. Emotional, watery, Cancer full moon wants us to feel. And whatever it is, write it down. Maybe it's just generic how you're feeling. Maybe it is when it comes to the journey you're on. You're feeling a certain way. But however you feel, take note of it. And collectively, are you feeling more low frequency? Are you feeling more high frequency? Are you vibrating high? Are you feeling low? If you're feeling low, it's time to make yourself feel good. It's time for self-care, and it's time to nurture yourself. Maybe you have a beautiful, wonderful, nurturing mother, but it's time to nurture yourself for yourself. Give yourself the love that you deserve. Give yourself the support that you deserve. Take time to rest. Take time off. Take time to relax. Stop putting yourself under so much stress and pressure, because you should always feel good. Now, as I say that, I don't want to sugarcoat things like depression. I don't want to say that you should never feel bad. You should feel your feelings. But what I'm saying is that collectively, the universe wants us to feel good. Collectively, we're expanding and we're growing, and that's positive energy. So the universe wants us to feel good. So we should feel good. We should feel blissful in this life, right? This life should be amazing. So when it doesn't feel amazing, when you don't feel good, how can you make yourself feel good? Because you have free will to change your frequency. You have the ability to emotionally alchemize how you're feeling. Always, always, and forever. And when it comes to your journey, how are you feeling? And again, if you're feeling more low frequency when it comes to your journey, maybe it's time to make a change. Or maybe you need to cut a cord, or maybe you need to set a boundary, or maybe you need to come to terms that it's time to step into a new version of yourself. Whatever came through tonight, it's your message. And as my battery reminds me I'm getting low here, it's probably about time to end. So before we end this really quickly, feel free, if you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to share in the chat, feel free to share it. I think that as we move forward into 2021, things are going to be really exciting, both collectively and individually, if you really claim sovereignty to your life. If you really step into this life and maybe say, yeah, 2020 didn't work out the way I wanted. And even when I had the opportunity to change, maybe I didn't change. But as I move forward into 2021, I know what I want to be. I know where I want to go. I'm going to get there. I'm going to give myself time to do that. You know, this is the time to embrace your strength and your willpower to move forward. So I'll grab one more drink. And if we don't have anything else to say, we'll take 3 breaths together and seal our circle. We will meet again January 12th, 7:45 Central Time. It's a Tuesday. We'll have the new moon in Capricorn. It'll be here on Facebook again. And, you know, Capricorn is the sun season that we're in. The full moon is always the opposite of that. So that's how we're in full moon in Cancer. Cancer is the opposite sign of Capricorn. Capricorn's a very fatherly energy. Cancer is a very motherly energy. Capricorn can be very strong, can also be very stubborn. It's a time of structure, design, organization, carrying out plans, budgeting, taking action step by step. And to be honest, during this particular time, as we wrap up 2020, it's really hard to do that. It's really hard to plan. It's really hard to structure. It's definitely hard to make a budget if you've been impacted financially this year, which almost every one of us have, right? So we're feeling a little anxious with this Capricorn energy as well. And this is just the last thing that's coming through right now. And I kind of wrote about this in my newsletter. So if you're not on my newsletter, you can go to my website and get signed up for that. It's vinalene.com. You can also read more about the moon and astrology and get into my free community, which I'll start communicating through more the online tribe the first of the year, I promise. I just kind of took a break this month as I was processing a lot of things. But I talked about in the newsletter today that it's time to let go. Cover your kids' ears. I'm sorry, I'm going to say one cuss word. Ego bullshit. Let it go. Let go of your ego bullshit. Because this is what's going to come up right now as we wrap up 2020. We're going to have a lot of, woe was me, things didn't work out, I didn't get to take that trip, I didn't get to do that thing, I had to cancel these plans, I didn't get to see my family, my friends, I didn't get to travel, I didn't get to do that thing I wanted to do, things didn't work out, I thought I was going to be this different person right now, I thought I was going to work out every day, I thought I was going to eat more water, I thought I was going to read more books, I thought I was going to do more of this thing, I thought I was going to change. I thought I was going to be a different person. I thought I was going to let go of those people in my life. I thought I was going to spend less time on my phone. I thought I was going to get rid of Facebook. I thought I was going to clean out my email. I thought I was going to clean up my closets. I thought I was going to clean the house. Do you get it? We go into this state of grief and remorse and regret, and it always comes at the end of the year because we think about all the things that we wanted to do in a year. And I don't know what it is about our human self that because of our calendar system, we think that 1 year is the time to do stuff. It's not. If anything, we need to go through 13 moons or work moon cycle by moon cycle. Or maybe work with the astrological calendar or the seasonal calendar, the Celtic calendar. There's other ways to align. But 1 year, it's okay if things didn't happen in 1 year. And that's our ego. It's our human self. It's ego bullshit. It is. That we should change or see ourselves in a different way come January 1st of every single year. So I want you to let go of that. And I really want you to honestly just give yourself credit for being here right now. December 29th, 2020, you've made it through this year. And maybe it's not how you turned out, but you're here, okay? And give yourself credit for all the things you've discovered about yourself, all the things that you've healed within yourself, all the ways that you've improved yourself. And instead of looking at all the things that you didn't do or all the ways that you didn't change, look at all the things that you did do, all the ways that you did change. Because that's how you continue to grow and move forward. You embrace everything that this universe, this life, this world has offered you in every present moment. So please, as you wrap up this year and move into January 1st, use this full moon energy to let go. Don't worry about setting new habits, making changes right away. Just let go of what pulls you down because you are meant to be happy. You are meant to feel good. You are meant to vibrate high. Let's end with 3 deep breaths. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale down, let go of tension. Shake it out. Let it all go. Move the energy around. Again, inhale. Exhale with sound if you need it. Let it go. Let it go. Let's do another one. Inhale, last time. Deep breath out. Release. Release with this moon. Write down how you're feeling if you feel like it. Release your feelings. Give them validation. Air them out. Nurture yourself during this lunar portal. This is a great time to connect to water. Give yourself a nice long bath or nice long shower. Get out and play in the snow if you want to, if it feels good. It's snowing where you are. Drink a lot of water, set out some moon water to charge. Make sure to set out your crystals to charge or cleanse if you need to, or to reprogram. And I'm sending you so many blessings with this Ardra Nakshatra Cancer full moon. And I will see you again with our new moon in Capricorn on January 12th. Namaste, tribe. Blessed be.